Hello and welcome to Earth Calling. We're your hosts, Ed and Lazlo. Every week, we take you on a journey through the wonderful world of online content, sorting through the tweets, the memes, the insta-Queens, the grams, the snaps, and the fake news traps. This is our record of humanity in the 21st century, our digital legacy left behind for future spacefaring civilizations. So sit back, relax, and buckle in. This is Earth Calling. This week it is our Christmas special.
Ho ho ho!
And Merry Christmas.
Have you been a good boy this year? Or good girl?
Strictly lumps of coal for
Yes.
the Earth Calling team. I always wondered about lumps of coal. It's an extremely nasty thing to tell a child, isn't it? You know, if you behave well, you're going to get an Xbox 360 and the latest DVD of Lord of the Rings.
You're a bit behind there with the Xbox models. Xbox 360 was probably released in 2003.
You're going to
I believe you're looking at an Xbox One S.
Nice.
Something like that.
Or some sort of augmented reality headset, probably.
Oculus
and
Rift.
The latest, not DVD, streaming
Yes.
download of...
Streaming download. I mean...
I'm making myself
Ed,
sound extremely technologically illiterate.
Our listeners are potentially from Gen Z, and they are very much not relating to us. We are hashtag not relatable at the moment.
I know from the demographic data, actually, that our audience is predominantly from the millennial category.
50 plus, female, basically our mothers.
But Christmas...
Yes.
This is the Christmas special. Ding dong merrily on high. Good King Wenceslas. How does he like his pizza?
He likes it kind of Western style.
He likes it deep pan, crisp and even.
It's not my favorite. It's not my favorite carol, so I don't know the lyrics well enough to know that is probably a reference to the first line of the carol.
Good King Wenceslas looked out on the feast of Stephen, where the snow licked round about, deep and crisp and even. Yeah.
See, that was the bit, was it? Yeah.
Have you done your Christmas shopping? I suppose, you know, in theory, people will be listening to this on Christmas Eve as they tuck into their mince pies and realise that they don't have much to say to their families.
Of course. Or alternatively, oh, Grandpa, I thought this Christmas dinner we could turn on my friend Ed and Lazlo's podcast.
Pod what?
Let me tell you something about podcast, young lady. It was 1943. Have I done my Christmas shopping? Well, I've done my Christmas clicking. And I just think that probably should become a term, because I think most of us these days just basically, you know, go on Amazon, look at the recommended section and buy a load of stuff. This year, actually, I decided to buy kind of one big present for the family. So I've gone for a board game.
What's on the chopping block today, Lazlo?
Today, we've got WhatsApp on the chopping board, the behemoth of messaging platforms, and I'm sure the source of many of your Christmas news. Got to keep alert of COVID restrictions.
Early COVID, though, there was a lot of great WhatsApp content. I feel like when we got stuck into the beginning of COVID, there was a lot of memes going around, you know, like people you'd least expect to be at the top of their meme game. I was getting stuff from colleagues. I was getting stuff from, you know, Mad Auntie Sue. If we take a step back, though, just whoop, let's have a think about how WhatsApp was founded, because it's actually quite an interesting story. You know, you would think that WhatsApp is a ubiquitous part of modern life, but actually there was a time where we didn't have WhatsApp, and I just wanted to fill everybody in on the extraordinary tale of how it came to be. Essentially, there was a guy who applied for a job at Facebook, along with a mate of his. Bear that in mind. We come back to that.
Very good.
And he got rejected by Facebook and thought, okay, well, that really sucks. I'm going to go and found my own business. And he started a social messaging platform where the initial idea was that you had a status, which everybody kind of forgot about now. Like, you'll just see somebody still got at the gym as their status or something like that. They've been at the gym for 3 years. Come on, Terry, we know you're not at the gym. And he's founded this app, which started taking off. And essentially, it started taking off. It crashed several times. It was a bit of a failure, but then he reached out to some mates, managed to raise $200,000 from some friends of his at Yahoo, because he was originally at Yahoo with an exclamation mark, and contacted them, raised this money, and managed to get it together with a Russian developer that he met in an online forum. It then ballooned into a great success, received millions of funding, and the kind of punchline of the story is, of course, as many of you will know, he then sold WhatsApp to Facebook. So he came back round full circle to Mark Zuckerberg and said, Mark, how about buying my company for $21 billion? And Mark said, you know what, that sounds all right, I will. And I think that's kind of the ultimate fuck you, is to get rejected by someone and then take $21 billion off them.
Is it $21 billion?
For a messaging platform that doesn't actually make any money.
I mean, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. And has Facebook done much with WhatsApp since? I mean, how much because I've had WhatsApp for a while, and I actually remember already being a user when the takeover happened. And I don't really think fundamentally the platform's changed that much.
I think, we now share a lot more videos, photos, etc. But the core basics are obviously just messaging. I mean, the reason I think WhatsApp was so great was that, you could actually message people that had different phones. So you may remember, of course, the days of Blackberry Messenger, BBM, which some of our younger listeners, of which there are zero, may not remember, but there were times where people had something called Blackberry and a Blackberry Messenger app, and it would be really cool because they'd be in class and they'd have this little red light on it. I don't know if you remember.
The red light. Yeah. But hang on, the main thing about the Blackberry that was so mind-blowing to people was that BlackBerry had a keyboard on the phone. And I'm not talking about a touchpad keyboard, of course. It literally had this miniature QWERTY keyboard, and looking back on it, obviously, to us, modern touchscreen users, it's farcical that you should actually have to use your massive fingers, basically, which probably span around 4 of these BlackBerry letters to punch.
Do you type with your fingers? That's a bit weird.
Oh, no, I don't do the mum thing, which is type with your index fingers, sorry. But thumbs are even wider, actually, so thank you for providing even more of a ridiculous image. But your thumbs, I remember the BlackBerry keyboards had to have this very special design, which is kind of like mini pyramids, to ensure that you had actually tapped the right key.
Could get that thumb over to the T key.
Yeah.
But so, WhatsApp obviously grew out of that because it had offered interoperability between different platforms. But I remember BBM, I felt very out of the crew because I had a Motorola Razr, which was extremely cool.
Very thin phone.
Well, like a razor.
Well, precisely.
RAZR. Hello, Moto.
Hang on, while we're on Motorola, do you remember the Motorola Pebble?
Yeah, that rings a bell.
Wow, I mean, my mum had a Motorola Pebble for a good few years, and I remember on the school run on the way home, I was a bit bored.
Wasn't it spelled PEBL?
They love omitting necessary vowels. Yeah, yes, that's their thing. Yeah, so I would spend the 30 minutes from school to my home basically just, it sounds weird, but touching her Motorola
phone.
It was just a very smooth design. It was incredibly ergonomically pleasing. So I would just, sit there stroking it in the absence of a dog. Well, actually, I did have a dog, so probably half the time on the Pebble, half the time on the dog. No further questions, please, Your Honour.
God.
Well, I thought what made sense to examine from my side this week was the institution that is WhatsApp group chats. Now, we are all in group chats.
And what an institution.
Quelle
institution.
Oh, mais quoi? It's been a long time since French A-level. So I found a blog post which talks about the different kinds of people in a WhatsApp group chat, specifically 10 kinds of people. And I thought we could go through them and trade stories on these characters. So number 1 is, of course, the origin of the group chat, which is the group admin. The person who set up the group chat in the first place, Courchevel 2020.
Yeah. Quite a niche reference, but yeah, it's valid. This is the ski group.
You're
not on a holiday until there's a group chat, really. And there's always one. You're quite right. There's always one or two people who love to get the group chat going. It's typically a couple of days before the holiday, but it can't be too early, otherwise it's a bit tragic. So,
over planning.
Yeah, it's got to be sort of spontaneous but clearly planned. And the admin will then have to add people, and they'll be like, "Oh, can you add Jeff? Here's his number," because there'll be someone there that not everyone knows, and poor old Jeff. There's a bit of a tag on to the holiday. It's like, Jeff, to be honest, mate, who are you? And then everybody else is looking at all these numbers, being like, "Who are these people I'm going on holiday with?"
And Jeff inevitably gets with the girl that you've had a crush on for 7 years of your life.
I wouldn't say that's inevitable. That sounds a bit specific.
Jeff, if you're listening,
you're a dick.
That hurt me to my core.
Great.
But I think you're right. The group admin, because of their role, I mean, there's many, and this ties into the first message sent on this group chat, because it's key to basically stimulating engagement in this chat. You don't want to have a group admin who posts this enormous essay being like, "Hi everyone, thought it'd be great to just like put down what groceries we need for the trip, because of course we're arriving in the airport at 8 p.m.
Just chill out, mate. We're on holiday." Secretly, you're like, "I really hope someone takes care of the groceries," but you're like,
secretly, you're like, "Geez, I hope I'm not on I hope I'm not on dinner duty."
Yeah, okay. No, but the admin, they're sort of power hungry types, and can be quite officious, but ultimately are an integral. Well, without them, there would be nothing. They are in a way the gods of the WhatsApp chats, and it doesn't take them 7 bloody days to do it in a matter of seconds.
It's the Big Bang.
Let there be WhatsApp.
Yeah, very good.
And it is, and it was good.
And of course, the admin needs this second character to exist. If not, all of his or her hard work would be totally futile. That character is the over-enthusiastic replier.
Yes. Oh, God, I know these people. I've got.
You are one. What do you mean that you are one?
No, I think, to be honest, we'll come to what I think I am, but I think that these are the hype men and women.
Yes.
They, if you were a rapper on stage, you can try and read my lyrics off of this paper before I lay him.
Reply to Edward.
These words before I say them.
Reply to Edward.
You're a terrible hype man.
I don't know how to do it. What?
No way I'm going to let you stop me from causing man. What I say, I'm going to do something, I do it.
Reply instantly, please. Make sure you reply with correct emoji usage, yo.
I know you've completely no. So the idea is that you are hyping me, not encourage. Like, so the hype man on the WhatsApp group doesn't go, "Oh, everybody reply to Lazlo."
Sorry,
they go,
I misunderstood.
They go, "Oh yes, I'd love to have speedy boarding, please."
Got it. Yeah. Well, we can try again if you want.
You can try and read my lyrics off of this paper before I lay him.
Read the lyrics.
Yeah, exactly. That's more like
Got it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that was "Not Afraid" by Eminem. Great song.
Thank you, Eminem, for sponsoring this episode of Earth Calling. We'll get back to you with the old payment. Oh no, you pay us, don't you?
Yeah, the invoice. Yeah.
Sorry, the invoice. Right. So I think we've talked enough about the over-enthusiastic replier, the hype person. Everyone knows who they are. They're right there. They're liberal with emojis.
There's one thing I would just like to say is that there is that difficult time when you actually really do want to reply, but you don't want to be perceived as the enthusiastic replier. Let's say there's a few people on the group you never met before. You don't want to be the one like, "Oh, great, sounds so fun. I can't wait, guys. Can't wait to meet you all, especially you, Sophie.
I was thinking for the first shopping trip, we could get some penne with pesto."
Exactly.
You don't want to be
that guy, but you do want to say something like point out that
it would be rather nice to actually get penne with pesto, for example.
Or, we're all leaving for the airport on a Friday morning. Who wants to share an Uber?
Yes. Well, exactly. These practical considerations, which you really do want to kind of sort out and tie up before the big day. But you're right. You don't want to seem too keen. So you let someone step in before, basically, don't you?
You play it cool.
And that's also a nice moment to talk about the third character, who is the quiet one. The quiet one arguably plays it a bit too cool.
Yeah.
In the sense that you literally will never hear from them, and until the day that you land in Courchevel, you have no idea they're actually going to be on the trip.
Okay.
Jeff, was it?
Yeah, but you're 077896432.
Yeah, with Snoop Dogg as the WhatsApp image. Is that
There's always the weird ones.
Yeah.
No, but I think that there's a fine balance, isn't there, to be struck between essentially those two archetypes, right? You don't want to be overly keen in your replies, but you also don't want to be dead. There's got to be a happy middle ground where you're there, you're having fun. Everybody knows that you're probably up for a good time, but you're not at either end of the spectrum.
Exactly. It's finding that, like, you basically, like you said before, you just want to be chilled. It's like, I'm on top of the logistics while not being overbearing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm here to have a holiday, guys.
But there is a certain aura about the quiet one, though, I would say. And I
mystery.
There's a mystery about it.
Yes.
I don't want to delve into relationships and all that sort of stuff, but I feel like there's a kind of, he's pretty mysterious. I wonder what his deal is. How come 078765 hasn't replied to any of the messages? He's probably too cool to care.
And like, what's his connection to Snoop Dogg? Maybe he is Snoop Dogg.
I feel like Snoop Dogg would not be the admin. He would be
Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg is probably not featured in this list of 10 kinds of WhatsApp participant.
He's a BBM man.
Yes. The next character, which I think will resonate with our listeners, is the inverted commas no link. Now, the no link, as you may have guessed, is someone who basically is in this thread which has got a certain running theme. For example, the shopping trip that is necessary on the first day of this holiday, and they just jump in with a cat meme or just some totally random bit of content which has no relation to the pressing needs of the group, of the function of the group.
I thought the no link would actually be a person. That, as in, you're like, they've got no link to the group. Like, why are they in the group?
I see.
But I see. Yeah, I get what you mean. You mean the people that just like throw in the random content. You're like, hang on, have you just like picked up the wrong chat or something, or you meant to be sending that to somebody else? I feel like the no linker is, as you say, the forwarder of a random meme. You're in the middle of a discussion and then boom, Sarah shoots in something on how butter's made or whatever.
Yeah, precisely. And actually, it gets more complicated when you're referring to a family group chat. And I can tell you from personal experience, my mother can often be culpable of being a no-linker.
Your mother's featured a lot in this episode.
Beatrice will understand my frustrations when I post a beautiful photo of a sunset in whatever city I'm in, and then she just replies 2 hours later with an article on COVID best practices. I mean, it's like, did you even see the sunset, Mum? And my dad isn't exactly the hype man, I'll tell you that for free. He's more of a quiet one, let's call him that. The next one I think we can also all relate to. It's described by this blog post as the imager. Now, the imager is, again, as you could probably picture, no pun intended, someone who I think whether they are lazy or not is a separate discussion, but they prefer to just send GIFs and images or GIFs as their. What, are you referring to the cleaning solution used in kitchens? Is that a SIF?
Friends, your Uncle Jif.
Yeah, GIF. They respond purely with visual content. It's very hard to get words out of them.
Picture tells 1,000 words.
It does, and in which case maybe they are a step ahead of all of us.
I know exactly the sort of person you mean. They communicate strictly by meme or by photo.
So let's place this in the real world. Again, for example, you're at the supermarket. A bunch of the people have stayed at home. First day of holiday. You got half of the people at the flat or whatever. Half of the people at the supermarket. People posting from the supermarket saying, guys, what should we get? We've got we got pesto, we got penne. And then Alan just replies with a picture of a shopping bag with milk, just being shoved inside it. And you're thinking, well, Alan, is that helpful?
Yeah, and you're thinking, Alan, it's taking you longer to Google milk into shopping bag than it is to just type milk. It's like with GIFs, people actually have to search for this stuff. It's like, why don't you just send the bloody word?
But the issue is that you don't know if Alan's actually saying, guys, please buy milk.
Or if he's just going, shopping!
Exactly. If he's just delighted at the fact that the shopping is happening. Because Because also in between his milk picture, you've got the over-enthusiastic reply who's going, "Oh, remember lentils? Oh, remember broccoli?" And then Alan just goes in with the milk picture.
Lentils is such a good one for the over-enthusiastic replier.
Lentils is a...
Don't forget my anti-digestion medication. I get heartburn.
Should have brought that with you, Sarah. Because I was thinking if any of us gets a big headache, it might be useful to have some ibuprofen on the go. This is a trip that is somehow combining the deep Midwest with quite...
The deep Midwest, that was
I never know where to place your accents, Edward, to be honest.
You're trying to do some sort of Michael Caine.
Well, I'm doing, Michael Caine's apprentice, his young apprentice. He's out shopping. He sees Ellen's posted the milk. He's thinking, blimey, what is that? Is that milk going in the shopping bag, or is that milk not going in the shopping? I don't know.
It's going in the Batmobile, Master Bruce. It's going in the Batmobile.
Put the milk in the Batmobile. Okay.
What, in broad daylight, Alfred? Not very subtle.
Was
that... The Lamborghini, then, sir. Much more subtle. Yeah, get the groceries in the Lamborghini.
You was only bloody supposed to get semi-skimmed.
She was only... No. One thing, though, that we haven't covered with any of these types is an additional character who is becoming increasingly prevalent, I would say, and increasingly irritating. And that is, of course, the voice noter.
Oh, no.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, no.
We know where we're going with this. And I don't know why, but they've become more and more prevalent these days. And so several of my friends, to be honest, it's quite often in a one-to-one rather than a group chat scenario, but they will just leave these 3-minute voice notes. And you're just thinking, you could have just typed that out and it would have taken you maybe the same amount of time, but me definitely at least, a third of the time to read it. And so,
because until WhatsApp is equipped with perfect transcription of audio messages, I'm afraid that it's not the most convenient way to convey practical information to people.
Yeah. So we know that it's taken you 3 minutes to record it, and I'm sitting there going, okay, cool. So I've got a message from, Mark, and it will go, "Hey mate, so yeah, I was just wanted to get touch base about Saturday, and sort of timing wise, thinking I might just pop
And of course,
on."
let me just interrupt there. He's been speaking for 15 seconds, but not an ounce of information has actually been delivered.
I'm there going, "Come on, Mark, tell me what do you want to do on Saturday? When, where, and how?" And he's like, "Yeah, mate, of course. Saturday soir, let's have a link up. Got a couple of mates who might be around as well. I don't know whether Bursty might be about. But anyway, ping me a massage and we can sort something out."
By the way, there's always also a moment in a long voice note where the person obviously deems it necessary to apologise for doing a long voice note. But if they're apologising, then they're surely aware of the fact that they didn't need to do it in the first place. Because so Mark's obviously saying, so yeah, Saturday, mate. By the way, sorry, it's a long voice note. I'm walking, and it's too. Take the time to.
Thought it'd be convenient because I'm just in Waitrose at the moment, and then you have to listen to them checking out. And they go, "Sorry, mate, just a sec," and then you hear kind of, will it just be the lentils, the quinoa, and the bottle of Dom Perignon today, sir?" He goes, yeah, no, that's perfect. Sorry, mate, just in Waitrose. I'm not at the other end of the phone. I'm listening to this at a different time. Why are you wasting multiple minutes?
Of course.
If you think of the collective amount of human time that is being wasted listening to voice notes rather than reading texts, you could probably build something large. A pyramid, maybe.
Maybe. A pyramid, a skyscraper, any large edifice.
Probably not a pyramid, actually. Really long
time.
Well,
didn't we famously lose the information on how to build the things?
Pyramids, yeah.
We can still do it. It's all right. We got it
covered. Well, actually, to go on a slight tangent, not that we're a fan of that at all, you can't help but feel for the Jewish slaves who built the pyramids, because there they were sort of casting these stones around thinking, well, I mean, we're having a terrible time now, but at least in 2,000 years, 3,000 years, people will look back and be like, that is an amazing feat of human engineering. But actually, fast forward to today, and I was like, aliens built them, probably. Not fair.
Likewise, the guys who bothered to haul those massive slabs of rock to somewhere in Wiltshire and erect Stonehenge.
Yes.
They don't get much credit, do they?
Who knows what they were doing? Maybe it was a game of five-side football.
Yeah,
certainly got slightly
with
too many goals.
With 7 goals.
different sport back then.
Yeah. Going back to the holiday day one scenario, everyone, half the team in the supermarket, half in the flat. Poor guys in the supermarket, they've picked up the lentils now, they've picked up the penne and pesto, probably got Alan's milk as well because they can't be bothered to ask if the picture was actually real or not.
And then you just see Mark is recording a voice note. And you're standing there at the till and someone's gone, let's just, anything else, guys?
Yeah.
And then you just see Mark is recording a voice note, ... And you just think,
old lady with around 14 kilos of groceries behind you, looking at you as if you are literally the devil.
Excusez-moi, jeune homme, j'ai pas mal de choses ici, vous prenez votre temps, quoi.
Translation, excuse me, young man, forgot the rest, but... Are you done?
Hurry the fuck up.
Hurry up, you fucking Englishman. and then finally, whoever it is, was it Mark in this situation with his
Mark, yeah.
Mark, he sent his voice message. You see this daunting 2 minutes 36 seconds long message.
Ugh.
And then, of course, you start listening to it and it's like, guys... Firstly, thanks so much. Thanks so much for doing the shopping. Flat, by the way, is incredible. Just discovered there's a jacuzzi out front. I'm currently in it with Jessica.
Yeah, we've just popped a couple of Beverage Juniors.
Yeah.
So actually, they left a few of those in the chalet.
But yeah, so I was thinking, right, so what is it? We're here 7 days, right? You got to, balance the carbs, the proteins, the veg.
You got to get your fromage in.
Go fromage. Maybe we can do a fondue. Am I right? Am I right?
Yeah.
And all the while, of course, you think, Jesus Christ, Mark. Firstly, we wait 2 minutes 36 to actually receive the message while we're looking at you recording it. Now we're halfway through and you've literally said nothing.
I feel like we've gone on a rant, but yes. To those listening who do record voice notes, and I must admit, I have recorded them. In fact, I've received them from you.
Really?
The great irony, yeah.
I'm not a big voice note person.
You have sent them to me, and I've replied with them. But, if they're under a minute, I think that's legit. But please don't do voice notes.
Yes, in group chats.
In group chats. Of course, the question on everyone's minds is which one of these personae are you, Lazlo?
Well, of course, it is on everyone's minds. I was thinking about that. I think everyone likes to think that they are just in that golden, the Goldilocks zone, that perfect.
You are not in the Goldilocks zone.
What do
you
you
think
mean?
you're planet Earth in the universe and you've got it just right?
Yeah, I think I've just got the perfect proportion of nitrogen, oxygen, and carbon dioxide, where if carbon dioxide is memes, oxygen is text, and nitrogen is voice notes. Hang on, I've got to make sure that I've done the proportions right.
Yeah.
I've kind of forgotten my GCSE biology, but I think nitrogen is the smallest component of our gaseous elements on Earth.
It's the largest.
It's the largest, is it? Yeah, okay, perfect.
Yeah, 70%. So, you are 70% voice notes, 70% gas. That's what you are.
I'm not.
Okay, well, that's a bold statement to think that you get it just right. I'd say, to be fair, in the few WhatsApp groups that I've been in with you, you were not overbearing. I mean, on the flip side of the spectrum, you weren't really contributing a great deal in terms of, the general chat or any of the organisational elements. You were a hanger-on.
Hanger-on, I like that. Hanger-on, like you desperately need the group for your self-esteem. Exactly. But you're not doing the effort. You're not making the effort to actually prolong its existence.
Yeah.
And what about you? What are you?
I was thinking about this, of course, as well, and I think that depending on the occasion, I'm an all or nothing kind of WhatsApper. So I'm either the admin, or
you're such an admin. At this point, sorry, you are such an admin. Oh. I don't know about this all or nothing bullshit. You are the person who's created the group chat. He's laid down the itinerary for the first 3 days. He's got that shopping trip in the bag, 8 p.m. on Tuesday night when we've arrived. He's booked the taxis, by the way. And of course, he needs a hype. He needs a hype person.
And what's wrong with that?
Nothing's wrong with that.
Look, I'm not always that, and if I'm not the admin, because I do take on that mantle, and it is an important mantle.
Classic admin talk, by the way. Well, and it is, of course. I take on that mantle. I take it on with great responsibility, and it is an important mantle at that.
there's no bloody trip if there's no admin. So
True.
you know, it's a chicken and egg situation. But if I'm not the chicken, then I am very much the silent one. I like to play it quite cool.
Okay.
I'm the sort of person who's either, you know, writing up the shopping list and making sure that everybody's got the keys to the Airbnb.
Well, you probably got them actually.
I've collected them. Yeah. Hi Helga. Yeah, we'll be at the Airbnb round about 7 p.m. if that's okay. Flight lands at 6. I've had a look. The airport's about 30 minutes by Uber, so we'll see you there at 7. Half an hour for getting through, and yeah.
I'd be surprised if you heard that over Mark's recording of his voice note to his mum in the taxi on the way from the airport.
Yeah, exactly. Mum, it's great to be in Copenhagen.
Mark, it's Oslo.
Yeah, it's Oslo, Mark. It's Helga from Oslo. Hello, Edward. Great to have you in Oslo.
No.
Well, I think that's it for this week. Thanks so much for tuning in. Do, as ever, give us a like. Please download, subscribe, all that good stuff. We've actually just launched an Instagram account, which can be found at earth_calling_pod. Very catchy.
That is so admin of you.
It is quite admin, very clever. Yeah, but honestly, do, because we've got, I think, 70 followers, which is quite tragic. So send us a Christmas present by following us on Instagram and downloading and sharing with all of your friends. In fact, you can actually, if you're listening on Spotify, I think you can extremely ironically send us a voice note. So send us a voice note of season's greetings and otherwise wishing you a very merry COVID socially compliant Christmas. The turkey will be slightly smaller this year and will probably last.
It might be a chicken.
It could be a chicken. I actually prefer chicken to turkey.
Yeah, richer,
nicer.
I actually don't eat meat, but
yeah, Lazlo's of course a vegetarian. Yeah, as you can all probably imagine.
Quiet one.
The quiet one.
Next week, it's hashtag New Year, New Me as we jump into Snapchat, the platform conceived as a way to send photos without consequences, but which since has morphed into a far more important part of the social media ecosystem, namely in enabling teenagers to send images of themselves looking like bunnies.
Or cats.
So Merry Christmas, everyone. Earth out.